Hey guys, welcome back on the channel. So let's check how this liquidity pool that I opened up on PancakeSwap has been doing for the past 2 weeks. This is a new video series I decided to create, which is basically putting together the idea of DCAing but into a liquidity pool. I did a lot of videos before about yield farming on PancakeSwap, but that was mostly degen stuff. We were getting 4 or 5% a day, but this is something for the long run, okay? This is something that can grant you reliable passive income over months, if not years, but at the same time, you're accumulating Bitcoin. So I think that's the best of both worlds, because after all, Bitcoin, it's what leads the show in crypto. It goes up, everything goes up, it goes down, everything goes down. So let me go here on DEX screener. Let me just show you that. So this is the range that we have, or that I have set up yield farming with this Bitcoin liquidity pool on the Binance Smart Chain. So the video was a couple of weeks ago at around this date, the 18th, the 20th of October. That's when I set up the pool. The ranges are these two first lines here, the middle orange lines, okay? The other ones are of a wider range, but I didn't end up using that for the deposit that I showed you how to do. And if you want to do that, I'll show you in another video how you can open up these liquidity pools. Actually, I already did. So let me go back here on the channel. So actually, you can see here, this was my first video in banking on Bitcoin, right? And this one shows you how you can open up a position on PancakeSwap. You can do it in several other DEXs if you are already advanced or someone that is at least comfortable with crypto. You probably know already where to go, which DEXs to use. PancakeSwap, I like it a lot. It's a fork of Uniswap. It never had hacks or anything shady happening. I use it a lot. It's one of my go-to places to yield farm. So I started showing you how to do that on PancakeSwap, but of course you can do that on other DEXs. So let me go back here on PancakeSwap. So this is the position. The APR, it's 18%, but don't get too caught up on that. 18%, it's showing up today because yesterday it was not a very high volume day. But I've seen this at 60, 70, 80%, sometimes less. So far for these past 2 weeks, it granted 1%. So initially I deposited something around $20. It already generated in a couple of weeks 1%. And also no management whatsoever from my side. No readjusting positions, the range is just the same. And after that, I opened another position on Uniswap using Crystal. You can use Crystal, which is a liquidity manager. Let me show you that, by the way. All right, so this is Crystal. And the position I opened up is this one. So let me see what's showing up here. So yeah, it shows 26 cents. And here I only have 24. I think it might be because I have some cake also farming here. So yeah, probably that's that. Although the cake earnings are just nothing, are virtually zero. It's not even a cent. But back here on Crystal, you can see how old the position is. So I deployed this 15 days ago. So in 2 weeks, I earned already over 1%. On my initial. I'm a bit down, but remember, that's because Bitcoin price is fairly low within the range that I set. So again, let me go back here on DEX screener. So we are on the bottom side of the range. The good news is that so far in these past 2 weeks, the range was wide enough to capture all the volume. It could have been more optimal if this would be at around here, but I was aiming to be more practical, and like I said before, I don't want this to be too degen. So let me go with a more of a wide range. And at any point in time, if this shoots up, we are going to be on the green for sure. But this is something for the long run, okay? Now there's a lot of commotion in crypto. If you have been around in crypto for years, you probably are already used to it. If not, it's probably going to be kind of nerve-wracking if you have a substantial amount of money deployed into a given liquidity pool. But if you go with these ones that have blue chip stuff, especially Bitcoin, it's just a matter of relaxing and see that yield going up every single day. And I mean, we got already 1% in a couple of weeks. Can you get 1% in a couple of weeks on a bank? You cannot. And also, like I said, the goal here is to keep on depositing into these or other liquidity pools. So let me go on Uniswap. And Uniswap is actually another DEX where I did another deposit. You can see it's a different pool, but it's still Bitcoin. This one is the Coinbase's backed Bitcoin. So it's going to have a different type of risk, right? So in here we are exposed to Coinbase risk. With the other pool we were exposed to Binance risk, but it already earned 10 cents in less than 2 weeks, in probably a week or so. Not bad at all, I would say. Actually, let me go back here on Crystal because it should show, yeah, here it is. So this is the other position. Let's see how old it is. So it is 8 days old. In 8 days, already earned us 10 cents. The total value is a bit different because the entry price was also different. And I think I might have deposited maybe a couple dollars less than on the other pool, but in any case, the whole point of this series is to show you how you can bank on Bitcoin with different liquidity pools, having exposure to different exchanges, different blockchains, and even this position compared with the other, the ranges are just the same. They are just what I showed you here. Bottom range at 100K, upper side range at 125, which is all-time high. The moment this shoots up, or if it keeps chopping sideways, better even. But the moment this shoots up, we are going to see our positions increasing. If it goes up here to all-time high, 20%, plus the generated yield, okay? So this is how it has been yielding so far, and while the market is chopping sideways. We can get even triple digits APR if there's a lot of volume. Again, if we experience something like we saw here, like this green candle, 14% in 10 days. Or later on, we had this one, 14% in 12 days. When we catch this volume, and so far since I opened the positions, we didn't experience nothing as such, but as soon as we do, I'll show you the results here. And one of the main reasons I am showing you this is because most people go into crypto with a short-term mindset, and they end up losing money because of that. They go into crypto because they see Bitcoin is trending on the news, it hits all-time high, and now suddenly it's on the headlines. The financial talking heads on TV are talking about it, but when Bitcoin goes down, which is when you should be buying, no one is talking about it, okay? So the whole point of this is having a long-term mindset, DCAing in, and once you open up your LP positions, you can see I can come here, I can add liquidity at any time, I can remove at any time, 24/7. The blockchain doesn't stop, okay? You can go in, deposit whenever you want, how much you want, and I'm actually very interested to see how this will end up looking 1 year from now, or more than that. You know, yesterday I was on YouTube and I came across a video. I don't know why the algorithm showed me that, but I think it's a very curious one, because there's a part in the video where the guy is talking about Bitcoin crashing below $3, and this was over 10 years ago. So I think it's quite interesting because right now everyone is looking at the charts and they're saying the bull run is over and Bitcoin is done. I mean, we never been at this price point above 100K, and it's holding quite nicely, I would say. This big dip here, this was the October 10th liquidation event, and Bitcoin still didn't drop below 100K. I think it's holding up really nicely. So I'm very excited to see what the future in the long term brings to Bitcoin. And if you're new to all of this, it's not financial advice, but I have a lot of conviction in crypto. And of course, understand that at this moment in time, we have ETFs for Bitcoin, we have ETFs for Ethereum, for Solana. Institutions have been buying in Bitcoin since the launch of Bitcoin ETFs. Every single time that Bitcoin drops, it's going to be a bargain. But of course, it's easy for me to say that because I have been having this mindset for years now. Recently, for the past couple of years, we start hearing Trump trying to introduce Bitcoin to the American people and having the whole government to have a strategic reserve of Bitcoin. So if that's the case, and if you are seeing entities like BlackRock buying Bitcoin every single day, they are buying more Bitcoin per day that people are mining, okay? So there's more demand than offer. It doesn't mean we will not see a bear market. It doesn't mean that we cannot fall below 100K. I wouldn't be surprised if it does, to be honest. But the whole point of this series is to bank on Bitcoin, is to profit on market volatility, and also set your own piggy bank with these liquidity pools deposit whenever you want, whenever you have the funds to. It doesn't really matter how much it is, $20 a week, $20 a month. Just do something, because it's much more worth it than to be holding to fiat money that it's going to lose its value over time to inflation. 14 years ago, Bitcoin was crashing because it fell below $3. That's what they were saying, okay? If you had been holding to your fiat for 14 years, and now you think, okay, what would have happened if instead of holding to fiat, I would have been holding to Bitcoin, right? So it's a no-brainer. Anyways, guys, if you are new to all of this, go check out my other videos. All of these banking on Bitcoin videos, they are on a playlist, so you can go check it out. Whenever I put a new one, I'll add it to the list. I explain you how everything works with liquidity pools, all of that, and what I'm doing myself with this one. And remember, many people go into crypto with short-term mindset, and they look at Bitcoin and they think, okay, it's at 100K, I lost the train. Well, maybe think twice, because when it goes to 150, 200, maybe a million, then what will you think? So if we pan out, let me just, before wrapping up, let me just pan out and show you that 1 year ago, actually more than 1 year ago, let's go on November of 2023. So early days of November 2023, Bitcoin was at around 30K, 30 something K. Many people at this point in time thought what you are probably thinking: I lost the train. And look at where Bitcoin is at now. It only goes up in the long term. The only people who lost money on Bitcoin are people who bought at the top and sell it when the price went down, and they panic sold. And they are just not emotionally strong enough because they're over leveraged, more likely that's what happened. They are insanely invested into something which they don't fully understand. And if you do not fully understand it, if you do not have conviction on Bitcoin, it's likely because you don't understand how it works, what it represents, because this type of technology is trialed and tested. No one was able to hack the network. No one was able to manipulate it. And that's why big money is buying in every single day. I'm going to show you ways in future videos where just by spending fiat or stablecoins, not necessarily fiat, but stablecoins, cryptocurrencies which are pegged to fiat dollars, you'll be able to earn some cash back. And just by doing your regular life, you just go there, you get that cash back, and you can buy Bitcoin with it. So I think that's a really cool opportunity for anyone else out there that wants to maybe try out Bitcoin and buy Bitcoin or crypto, but they are not willing, or at the time in their lives where they can do that comfortably and taking money out of their monthly budget or something in order to invest in that. So it's a simple way. I'm going to show you in new videos that I will be doing on some platforms. You don't have to have any exposure to crypto, to volatile assets. You can have stable coins. You can do your grocery shopping, whatever, you're traveling, pay with stables, and then you get cash back, which you can then use to buy Bitcoin. So you're living on the fiat system still, but you are transforming your spending into Bitcoin. I think that's a really powerful thing to do, especially now where the holidays are coming in and the consumer mindset kicks in and most people are just buying gifts. Maybe they're going to travel a little bit in New Year's, but I think there's a lot of potential in that. And when you see that you can use this technology to hold your funds, have them in your own custody, and get 3% cashback or sometimes more, 8% when you spend, and you can turn that into Bitcoin, probably it's going to be a game changer. And I think it's a cool opportunity as well to strengthen crypto, because we need people to adopt. The more capital flows into crypto, the less volatile it will be. And that's why I came up with this video series, Banking on Bitcoin, to show people how you do not have to start with large amounts of money. You can start small, have a long-term mindset, and it will eventually change your life. I know it did for many people for these past 10 years or 14 years. So guys, if you are banking on Bitcoin, if you are bullish about crypto, let me know in the comments why. If you are newcomer to the channel, hope you took value from the video. Like and subscribe for more of this type of content, guys. Thank you for watching. Take care. Keep exploring crypto. I'll see you on the next one.